Kate, I just wondered how well you felt Phyllis Nagy captured the essence of Patricia Highsmith's novel with her screenplay.
I've long loved Highsmith's writing, and I felt that what Phyllis did, if it's, it sort of did the impossible. She almost bettered the book, because when you adapt something that is so perfectly formed, as Highsmith's second novel, A Price of Salt, on which this space was, you have to say, well, why make it into a film? And she found the reason of why tell this story cinematically, which I think a lot of adaptations don't do. And so you feel like you're having a less than experience. And what she did is, because in the novel, Carol is seen entirely through the prism of Therese's perspective, Therese's obsession for her, which is what makes the book so compelling. But she moved through the subjective into the film to an objective understanding of what motivated Carol and who she actually was, which is a great gift for me as an actress. And then Todd really picked that up in his filmmaking. So I think, in a way she gathered everyone into the same conversation through the screenplay.
And could we talk a bit about where Carol is in her life when we first meet her in the film?
Well, Carol is in a marriage which has really run its course. They have one child. She's had a relationship with her best girlfriend, which has caused great tension on the marriage, but they've found a way of moving forward. But then she's ambushed by the feelings that she develops for a young shop girl who's played by Rooney Mara, which then places her marriage and perhaps more importantly to Carol, well, definitely more importantly to Carol, her connection to her daughter in peril. And so she's forced to make a terrible choice about whether she denies who she is by not having the relationship or acting freely, or whether she remains being the mother to her daughter.
And you were on board with this project before Todd Haynes arrived. Of course, you've worked with him before, but why were you so sort of invested in getting the story on screen, and what did you feel Todd would bring to it?
Well, the film, as delicate as this, as special as this, and as low budget as this, like many low budget films, it takes a long time to get made. And I suppose I experienced that producerial journey of ups and downs and ons and offs. But I feel like it couldn't, now that we've made it this way, it couldn't have been made any other way. It didn't really become a film until Todd came on board. And then obviously Rooney came on board very quickly, and working with Ed Luckman, the cinematographer, again, and so many of the crew members again, and a Kyle Chandler working opposite him again, and meeting Sarah Paulson. It was you forget the time frame. It just feels like it's just been brought to life.
And what did you particularly enjoy about creating that on-screen relationship with Rooney Mara?
Well, because it's a love story, the chemistry between the two women, the connection, and the symbiosis that's developed between them is really, really important. And so when I knew Rooney was free, available and willing, I was thrilled, because we've often gravitated towards the same directors. We have a shared aesthetic, and I really admire the choices that she's been making as an actress, and I found her incredibly generous but really mysterious. So she was great to work with.
And the film is just achingly beautiful, I think, just so exquisitely detailed, the 50s period detail, but it looks like it's set in the real world at the same time.
Yes.
Could you talk a bit about that, the production design and the beautiful costumes, the fur coat and the nails, for one thing, with
yes,
Carol,
I mean,
just loved.
Todd's made a lot of films that are based in the 50s, 3 sort of investigations, but they've all been so different. And he really, with Judy Becker, the production designer, worked with that post-war austerity, which I think mirrored the kind of the emotional froideur that the women were surrounded by, which enhanced the volcanic feelings, like as a counterpoint that they were experiencing. And I think that what was really influential for me was that Todd showed us a film called Lovers and Lollipops, which was made in the 50s, which was almost kind of using non-actors, and it was really raw, and it felt very lived in and fresh, and almost as if it had been filmed yesterday. And it's very easy to forget when we see those 50s silhouettes, the corsets, the pointy breasts, the cars, that those people lived and breathed and felt longing and yearning and hated passionately. So I think that's what makes it feel like it could have been filmed today. Even though, of course, the 50s setting was vitally important to it. It's Todd's vision.
Cate Blanchett, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey!